Hey, what's up? So today I was thinking about it. I think it was like this morning. And the whole thing about when people make these videos or like talk or doing this stuff is it always seems to come from a place of like, oh, I went through this. Now I'm here and now I'll talk to you about what it was like to go through this and why you need to go through this or whatever. It's all the stories of, oh, I finally made it, like the people that made it in the NFL or whatever, or they like professional actor, musician, whatever you have it, billionaire. Like they're like, oh, this is how I made it and all this stuff. It's just, I don't know. I can't really think. I mean, I'm sure there are, but I haven't really heard or seen many people in the thing talk about it as if they are in there or like they already did the thing, even though they haven't done it yet. And that's one of those things that I kind of want to talk about because the last few years or whatever of my life have been filled with failure, filled with struggle, filled with things that people don't see and things that I can't explain. Things that just the way I feel or the way I experience life that I cannot explain because it's just whatever. It's what I need to feel, but it also is one of those things that you can't quite that it's tough to relate on. It. I'm in a situation that's like it's even for me to it's even tougher for me to relate to people that like lost someone or whatever because it feels like almost like that the loss in my life has been an excuse for other stuff to happen or for areas of my life that I ignored to come right back into the forefront. So even though I went through that and it's been like 5 years, and I like talk to people and they're like, oh, I like my like parents or talk about like moving on also. It's like I don't. It's this is not a singular thing, and so I don't know if I'll ever truly move on for something like this. So I may always be in it, but what I'm saying when it comes to this is in it in terms of I'm still feeling like shit, still really struggling, numbness, all this stuff. But like when I say struggling, I don't necessarily mean in that like okay, I'm like doing drugs or drinking or I'm like suicidal and stuff. I mean that struggling in terms of like I can't. It's difficult for me to like be feeling good and doing all this stuff and access these emotions stuff that I previously had. So it almost feels like my ceiling or like the way I could feel like let's say a screen or whatever. Let's say this is what it used to be. Now maybe I never got there back when, but there was a chance of that happening. Now it's kind of outside of falling in love, which I mentioned before is probably the only experience in my life that's kind of been the exception to this. Outside of that, if we're just going based off whatever, it went from up here, like we're over here, it went down to like right around like here ish. So it's like 30, 25, 30%. I feel like in turn, well, it's weird because in what I've just kind of seen or experienced is that I can't, without love, without that stuff, I haven't been able to feel. I haven't gotten through the threshold of feeling, which is, I don't know what that would be considered in this thing, but I can't access that without that, or I haven't been able to. I won't say I can't, but it's just one of those things that, like, it could make me go insane. Like, I'm sure it's made people go insane. I wouldn't be surprised. If I didn't believe that there was a purpose to all this, I would have gone insane many years ago. And by insane, I mean, you know the kind of stuff I mean. But it it's never felt wrong. It's never felt like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way or this shouldn't be right. And that's why I feel like talking about it while I'm in it is so important because the in it process for people can be different. It could be a few months, it could be a few years, it could be decades, it could be anything. And it could be a deal. And what I've learned and what I've talked about before is that you could be in it or you could be struggling, go through numbness, whatever. You go through and have a time where it's great and all that stuff, and you feel all these emotions and you're happy and all that stuff, and you go back and potentially it's worse. So it's not like it's always a oh this happens here, then this happens, and then it could be that it could go you could go worse, it could go better. There's so much stuff, so that's why I think it's important to relay the info and have and not just relay the info, but have a certain mindset about what you're going through because it's not as plain. It's not black and white. It's not yin and yang. It's not two different things. It's like everything is like I don't know how else to say it, but like a spectrum. Or there's like or it's like a rainbow or it's like whatever. Everything good and bad, or it's all just interconnected a in terms of a way to kind of mold you into the person that you're ultimately supposed to become, or the best version of yourself, or the version of yourself to where you are able to maximize the life you got and be as happy as you can be and also. But you have to go through sometimes really tough stuff in order to get to that place. Sometimes for people, maybe it could be really easy. Sometimes it can be very tough. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's not too bad. Sometimes you have tough seasons. Sometimes easier seasons. But you need to go through that in order to do that. And so, like what I'm talking about, I'm still in that season to where I don't know. I don't know what's ahead. I don't know when it's interesting thing, but I do not know the next day I will feel like a positive emotion, a joy or answer. I just do not know. And it's not coming from a place like, oh, I'm so depressed or oh, I'm so sad or oh, this and that. I genuinely am grateful and blessed to be in this spot more than if I was as happy as can be because I need to learn and I need to grow in ways that I can only learn and grow from if I'm going through what I'm going through right now. It doesn't happen if everything's all great and oh, I'm feeling so happy and I have this is going on. I have to struggle, struggle. No matter what I do, I have to struggle or whatever in order to discover things or learn new aspects of myself or trust or have faith in the process or in what's going on in my life that I don't know deeper than I did before. And I don't know what that will mean in the future. Like I don't know what these times are gonna lead to, but it's about having that wherewithal to be like, you know what? It might be tough, but I want it to be tough. And in this time right now, this in it process is not easy, but I wouldn't want it to be easy. Like I think it's a bigger blessing that it's tough than if I was happy and all this stuff right now. Because sure, I want that, but I also want to live the life to the fullest that I can do. So why would I want it to be easy, quicker, when I know the easier life is theoretically, the more comfortable you are, the less likely you are to be trying new things, do new things. It's like the idea of like the people that like if you think about like guys that like work out a ton or whatever and stuff, then they get in a serious, then they get in a relationship, have kids, all this stuff, and they start just eating and start not working out as much or whatever, and they start like whatever. You get like the beer belly on so and like the professional athletes like are in like insane shape and whatever, or like oh if you stop like it, I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, there's athletes that still work out and do all that stuff, but you get what I'm saying. When you start getting comfortable, when life starts getting easier and all that stuff, it's a lot. I feel like 99.99% of the time, people are more likely to stop taking as many risks or doing things outside of what they already know. Now, within what they already know, maybe they're doing whatever and all that stuff. But if life is going good, you're feeling great and all that stuff, it's a lot easier to not do that. And I've seen that. I've experienced that. And that's one of the reasons why I think when it comes to when I was falling in love and going through that experience, that I never had it, that it never was a thing. It was only a concept, even being around someone, is that I never had that. So I never could there's no comfort there. The only comfort was being uncomfortable and knowing that I was uncomfortable and know that this situation was like it was like a grain of sand. Like it was just it was not I couldn't hold it. It was not it was not a thing that was gonna last no matter I could have done I could have been Superman and it still wouldn't have lasted. And the same deal when it comes to losing my dad. There's literally nothing I could have done. I don't know if I could have rewind back in time and told him to put on sunscreen so he didn't get sun cancer and then die, whatever. Like that kind of stuff you can't control. And finding peace within that and understanding the purpose in that allows you to give you stillness in the process of going through processing that in order to grow and in order to do the things that you want to do with life. And so while I'm in this process of going all this stuff, I don't want to pretend like there's not value in this time and try like, oh, I'm just gonna block it out and go through until I get to those times. Like I need to lock in or I need to grow in these times in order to maximize the most so that when I have those times, when there's times in the future, and not even just when that, but even right now that I do as much as I can do and live this life because I don't know how long I'm gonna live. I don't know, and it's not just I don't know how long I'm gonna live. I don't know how long the people around me are gonna live. I don't know how long I'll be in certain situations. You never know.